how to use Claude Code like you are an Anthropic engineer. Well, in this video I'm going to show you the setup I use Claude Code. To use Claude Code, you only need these three things. You need a computer, you need an internet connection, and you need 5 years of coding experience. Actually, that was a joke. So, most people when you hear Claude Code, they think, oh, that is for development coding. But actually, Claude Code is more like a general knowledge worker. It can basically do anything. It can control your browser. It can write your emails. It can do your ads. It can basically do anything you want, not just limited to coding. So that's why I'm not building softwares, I'm not building apps, but I still use Claude Code every day. So there are 3 ways to use Claude Code better than 99% of the people. So the first one is the original way, the Claude Code in the terminal, the OG of the Claude Code. So Claude Code, when it first came out, it was in the terminal. So it was look something like this. If you open your terminal, you search for terminal. You open the terminal, you search for you need to download it first on your machine, and then you type just Claude, and yeah, this Claude interface will open with you. As you can see, it's currently working on my main folder, and I can change the model like this with arrows up and down, things like that. I can type anything here, like hi. It's going to respond. So it start working. It's going to say, hi Mahmoud, what are you working on? So this was all of Claude Code. But as you can see, this is look ugly. It's not pleasant to look at. It even looks scary if you are not technical. That's why Claude, Anthropic, built the Claude desktop app, this one. So Anthropic built this desktop app to make it easier to non-technical people to use Claude. So, and this is what makes it powerful. Connected. You connect it to external tools, and your Claude, it basically can interact with any other tools. So this is the normal Claude, normal AI interface. You have the chat here. Actually, this is 3 products at one. You have Claude Chat, you have Claude Cowork, you have Claude Code. So Claude Code is just a kind of simpler version of Claude Code, but they are basically the same. So here as well, if you want Claude to work on a folder, you can select a folder, open a folder, and select a folder you want Claude to work on. Or you can choose the branch if you are using GitHub coding. So the work tree, all of this stuff, you select, and then local or in the cloud. This is the basic setup of Claude desktop app. As I said, what makes it powerful is the connectors. You connect it to external tools like Canva, Facebook, GitHub, Gmail, Google Calendar, Notion, Shopify, and there are a lot of tools. You can browse them. You'll find a lot of tools. It's Microsoft 365, Figma, all of these external tools. You can connect them into your Claude desktop app, and you don't need to leave your Claude if you want to do anything. If you want to design in Canva, you can design here with just Claude. If you want to write to Canva, you can write. If you want to respond to your Gmails, you can do that by connecting your Gmails. This is what makes it easier to use because of the connectors and the pleasant interface to look at. It's not like using Claude in the terminal. If you want to connect it to external tools, you need APIs, you need to create your local environment file, all of that frictions. Claude remove it with connection and plugin MCP. So you don't need to know the technology behind it. You just click and connect and you go. But there are the third setup I like to use, and I guess all the engineers, all the Anthropic engineers themselves, they're using this setup, and that is Claude in VS Code. So as you can see, this app is Visual Studio Code. I think it's from Microsoft. Anyway, so this is just Claude extension. Now it's look like a normal chat. I also have this terminal. It gives you 2 options. You could work in the terminal. This is the terminal. You open it from this panel, and this is normal chat. So in order to set this up, you need to download this VS Code first. So you need to download this VS Code download, and also need to download this library if you want to use it in your terminal. Node.js, Visual Studio Code. Download it into your machine using Windows, Linux, or Mac. Then download Node.js, this green one. Download this in your machine, and it's not this one. Yes, download it into your machine, and yeah, you are good to start using Claude Code here. In order to get this Claude extension, you need to come to this extension icon and search for Claude. So you click on that, you see Claude Code for VS Code. Install it and start using. You need to log in with your Claude subscription, and you could start using it. Will open with you. You will see this this Claude icon, little one there. Click on it and start open with you. And the actual reason why I prefer this interface to the desktop and to the terminal is because I could see all the files I'm working on. Let's for example say I'm working on these ads. These are videos. I could click on this and I see the video. I can preview the video from here and I can look at all these videos. These are all AI generated, by the way. I can look at them and can look at the images, all of this stuff, and I can look at them and read them. Also, the skills, and I can read all the skills inside these folders. This is a skill. It's basically markdown file. I could read it from here. So if I'm working in the same folder on my terminal, I'm not able to see the files I'm working on. I'm not able to see all the folders, all the files, all the images, all the document I'm working on. The same goes for this desktop app. So I'm currently working on this directory, the same directory I'm opening. It's open here, but I'm just can't see anything here. I'm just blindly trusting what the output of AI is, and that is not how you could work, especially if you're working on creative work like I do, creating ads, UGC videos. So this is my first reason, and the second reason is, as you can see, I'm opening this Claude Code agent here. Yes, I can open another agent. I could say hi. Can open another agent. I could say hi. What the AI news today. And yet I can open another agent and ask it another task. And it's not limited to Claude Code. I can absolutely open ChatGPT, work at the same folder. I could have, for example, if I have a big task, I want to create a product page, and then I want to create ad for the product. I know product page is coding, so I'm going to give that task to Claude Code. I'm going to give the creative to Codex, and if I want to create images, guess what? I can open Gemini and ask it to create me images here. This is the power of this Visual Studio Code, and all these agents are working in parallel. If you launch an agent, it's going to read this folder, Claude.md file. So this is Claude.md file. It's like a system prompt. What's this project about, or how the agent are going to deal with this project. So I have all my OS, all my projects are inside this project. So I could literally work for a day inside this folder, inside this interface without leaving it. And I could do everything you could possibly think of. I could send emails. I could launch my ads on Meta. I could edit my YouTube videos here. I could learn here. I could watch YouTube video here. How amazing is that? That is the power of using this VS Code instead. And if you're not comfortable with this, you can still use this desktop app. And also, it is not just Visual Studio Code. This is just an IDE, a text editor. There are a lot of them. This is just a brand. There's another one, Cursor. You could open it. It's look basically the same, just different brand like ChatGPT, and we have Claude. All right, this is the same IDE as VS Code, but it's called Cursor, and this is VS Code. Anyway, where are we now on our manual? So here's the simple rule I want to give you. If you want something simple and visual, you might need to use like Claude Desktop app instead of Terminal or the VS Code. But if you want to view all the work and you want to judge, the work need iteration, like creating ads, creating visuals, you need to use VS Code or another IDE. Well, if you want more practical AI workflow like this, join my free school community here, where I share all this practical use of AI. So I have just built this AI community. I'm going to flood it with valuable content. So yeah, see you there, and peace.